We were kind of looking for, I guess, a broader range in our advertising. And honestly, I think there was one day I was just watching TV and just saw an ad come on. I'm like, okay, how are people actually doing this? There's got to be a way. And I really think within a week, I got a message from Vibe. I'm like, interesting.
So, Tim, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. You work with Sota Clothing out of Minnesota. And I want to hear all about your campaign with Vibe, your more broadly, your experience with TV and streaming television. But first, if you could just introduce yourself, introduce your brand, tell us a little bit about your story and what it's been like being in business.
Yeah, so here at Sota Clothing, really what we tend to is we tend to feed more to the Minnesotans, visitors, and homebodies alike. Whether you're visiting Minnesota or if you're from Minnesota, we make apparel that really tends to us here. But we were kind of looking for, I guess, a broader range. With our advertising. And honestly, I think there was one day I was just watching TV and just saw an ad come on. I'm like, okay, how are people actually doing this? There's got to be a way. And I really think within a week, I got a message from Vibe. I'm like, interesting. We had a video campaign that we already had that was used for social media, YouTube, and things along those lines. So it made an easy fit for us just to kind of take that video and start doing advertisements with in streaming. So it's
Awesome.
been great.
So does that mean you were really focusing all of your advertising efforts in Minnesota? And also, what makes
Mhm.
Apparel Minnesotan?
We're really targeting just Minnesota right
Okay.
now. We do have people that buy out of state, but really in state is really what we're doing. And what makes our stuff Minnesota? We have a lot of stuff that says Minnesota on it.
Okay.
Soda is obviously Minnesota for short.
Okay.
Um, so it's really we're just gearing towards kind of touching base with those people and what they know.
What were some of the goals or KPIs you were really aiming for with a specific
Mhm.
campaign versus maybe a social campaign versus a YouTube campaign? And then also, what was it like setting all that up? But first, yeah, just tell me about those goals that you had.
Well, our goal is really what it came down to is reach. I think that's the biggest thing is just getting people to understand and know who the brand is. We have such an iconic logo here in Minnesota with like a cross paddles logo, and then also just retargeting some of the people who have bought from us before and like people as well. So setting up the ad and everything, and working with the sales team was super easy. I had a ton of questions
Okay.
going through, and then it was step by step. It was great. Integrating a lot of the tools and everything that we use, like our email software and everything, makes it super simple to set up and everything as well.
Awesome. So you did you integrated your CRM lists?
Correct.
You
Yeah,
did?
yeah. We use Klaviyo, so we're able to just to plug everything in, and I'm able to see kind of get a connection of who's streaming with kind of our email list.
Okay.
So we're able to retarget those users and everything as well.
So you set up for awareness and reach, plus some
Mhm.
retargeting, and then some lookalike
Mhm.
audiences as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And then tell me how that worked. Like, did you do some testing? Did you optimize? Was it great from the get-go? Did it really hit its stride at a certain point? I'm just curious about how that campaign evolved over time.
So we start with the reach, and now we're kind of changing our strategy slightly more to focus on retargeting.
Okay.
So I'm actually working with the team right now to start kind of focusing on that, definitely for the holiday season. So it's been really simple to set up. If you've ever set up like a Facebook ad or anything, it's honestly easier than that. So
Amazing.
it's been super easy to set everything up, see results. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is seeing you can actually see everything and how it's working. It's been great.
I guess with retargeting, it might shift
Hmm.
over to ROAS or to web
Hmm.
traffic or those kinds of KPIs versus
Yep.
just reach.
So now we're going to be adjusting more for retargeting to bring those customers back that have visited us or have purchased from us. Definitely talking about holiday season, we have for everybody it picks up obviously. So I think right now it's going to be great because then we'll have a better match with our Klaviyo list and everything as well with doing that reach campaign, just getting people to notice us first, and then also it's just kind of how it links. I've been talking to the team about that too, about how it kind of link, how everything links. So that way we can kind of get a better customer base match on everything, and now we can retarget all those people.
That's great to hear. I'm always curious about the creative process because TV can be intimidating. Some people are like, I showed
Mm-hmm.
up my phone, it was fine. And others are like, do I need to spend $1 million? Television, it's scary and big. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious how you guys approached it.
Yeah, we did just have that one video. It was like a friend of a friend of the owners that made it back when a little bit. So it was just nice because we had it on hand.
Yeah.
And yes, we'd like to update it just because we'd like to have some of our newer products kind of in the video, as that video is about 2 years old now.
Mhm.
But overall, I mean, we did use the AI that you guys provide as well.
Oh, the Vibe Studio?
Yep, we did
Oh,
use that as
cool.
well.
Okay.
So I took the video that we had, and then took some of that and used the voiceover for it.
Huh?
Um, so that way we got the voiceover for the video and everything, and I just pulled that out. So it actually worked really well because I was kind of able to blend the two to make it work a little bit better.
Oh.
If that makes sense. I took the video that we had already,
Mhm.
did the AI, did the Vibe Studio, and then I took out basically the generated voice that we had from it, some of the photos, and I added that in there. So
Awesome.
it was pretty simple. I'm not an Adobe person, but I
Okay.
was able to do
So
it.
I don't want to harp on KPIs too much, but I'm just curious to
Mhm.
round it out. Like for awareness, were you looking at CPMs? Were you just looking at how many households have we reached? Like what were you really monitoring there? Was it view through rates? Was it
The view for the rate has been great. I mean, I think yeah, I mean, we're at like a 98% view through rate, a little bit more. But really for me, it was truly just impressions and households. That's really what I wanted to focus in on, because of the fact that, again, there's only so many truly Minnesotans here. So just targeting that area and just being able to at least to target our state, and then just make sure that I am hitting, hitting those people that are here, and just making sure that we're getting as many households and as many impressions as possible. Obviously, our CPM is big too, but yeah. So I mean, cost per impressions has been fantastic.
I probably should have asked this at the beginning, but I'm curious about I don't know how big your team is, but I wonder if it was difficult to get buy-in from anyone in the team when you suggested, this is a pretty new channel.
I brought it to the team, and yeah, we discussed it and everything. It took a little bit, but we broke down our budget and started looking at some things, and we definitely said, okay, if we move some things around, we can make something like this work. And again, the cost to actually get in is pretty low. I mean, $50 a day is less than we spend on Facebook or on Google Ads or anything. So really, the cost is pretty low when you look at it. And I think the advantage we're already seeing the advantage, come through. So yeah, it's always a little nerve wracking, I'd say, when you
Yeah.
start something new. Just because you don't know and you love your solids, your go tos, your CPA, your CPC for Google. You already know this stuff. You already know the meta and everything works. So I think it's huge to have something that's new like this, and very easy to set up and very easy just to like, okay, here's all the streaming channels basically out there. Let's
Yeah.
just here you go.
Yeah.
Let's just feed it to whoever we can get in front of. So I think that's huge.
That's really,
Yeah.
really cool to hear. I wonder if there's anything you're excited about testing. Like,
There's so much more that we can do with it down the road. And I think being able to actually target people a little bit better with this, and breaking out some of our segmentation in Klaviyo, to
yeah,
retarget and everything as well. So we can build different segments and then retarget those segments, which I think will be big. Yeah, live, well, obviously sports would be nice too, just because of the fact that with Minnesota, I mean, we have the Vikings, we have the Wild, we have the Timberwolves and everything as well. And we make product and stuff that focusing on those teams. So yeah,
awesome.
being able to build stuff like that and show it during those times would be fantastic.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Thanks for reaching out, and you have a good day.